"Grandma, why do you always smell kind of funny?" Mom says that's just your special smell. That one innocent sentence was enough to make Carol Simmons, 71 years old, feel her heart sink. All her life, she had taken pride in being clean and careful about everything. She showered every day, her clothes always smelled fresh, and her house was spotless. And yet now, the granddaughter she loved most didn't want to sit in her lap anymore. Every time she reached out for a hug, the little girl would wrinkle her nose and turn away. That night, Carol pulled the blanket over her head and cried harder than she had in years. "Hello, my name is Dr. Matthew Thompson. I'm 77 years old, and I've worked with over 10,000 older adults in the past 50 years. Today, I want to share something with you that might come as a surprise, but it's something you truly need to hear, because most of the time, the people around us are too polite to say it out loud. Have you ever ridden a bus and noticed no one sits next to you? Have your grandkids seemed distant, or your daughter-in-law always opened a window when you visit? If any of this sounds familiar, it's not just coincidence. There's something people call the old person's smell. And yes, it's real. They just won't say anything because they don't want to hurt your feelings. That means most older adults live with this problem without ever realizing it. Watch this video until the end, and I'll show you an incredibly simple method, just 3 minutes a day, that can reduce old age odor by up to 90%. That's when I realized she was doing what so many older people do, using fragrance to cover up another smell. I've examined thousands of seniors and discovered something important. 99% of people over 60 have no idea their body odor has changed, but others around them can smell it clearly. I remember one man named Franklin Moore, 73 years old. He was extremely clean, showered every day, and his house looked like a hotel. But one day, his son brought a friend over, and Franklin overheard the boy whisper, "You can totally smell the old man in here." From that day on, Franklin stayed in his bedroom whenever his grandkids came over. He was afraid of feeling rejected without anyone telling him why. If you're watching this and starting to feel a bit uneasy, maybe even suspicious that this could be happening to you, don't worry. It's not because you're dirty. It's not because you did anything wrong. The truth is, the human body changes with age, and that includes the way we smell. But this isn't something you have to live with forever. This approach has already helped over 1,000 of my patients feel confident again, able to hug their grandkids without fear or embarrassment. I wear perfume every day, the kind my grandkids used to say smelled so nice, but lately when I call them into my room, they just stand at the doorway and find excuses to leave. She replied, "I usually have to keep the windows open because even I feel like the air is kind of heavy." Despite what people might think after my conversation with Mrs. Eleanor, I realized I needed to explain things more clearly, because the truth is, not everyone understands why their body develops a smell, even when they take great care of their hygiene. But, in fact, there are specific biological changes happening behind the scenes, changes that science has confirmed. So when your body sweats less, those substances stay on your skin longer, creating the perfect environment for odor-causing bacteria to grow. The good news is, there are ways to improve all of this, as long as you understand which parts of the body need the right kind of care. If you find this message helpful, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on useful real-life tips to help you live healthier and happier every single day. Now, let's find out where this old person's smell really comes from and how you can get rid of it in the easiest way possible. Not long ago, during an online consultation, I spoke with a woman named Eleanor Brooks, 79 years old, living alone in Arizona. She confided in me. "I don't understand, doctor." I told her gently, "But honestly, Mrs. Eleanor, perfume is not the answer. In fact, it might be making things worse." She was quiet for a moment, then softly asked, "Then what is that smell, doctor?" I bathe, I wash my clothes regularly, I don't live in a mess. And that's exactly the issue. Many people live very clean, very tidy lives, but over time, the body still produces a unique kind of odor, something no one ever teaches us how to recognize or manage properly. And the first instinct for many is to use perfume, deodorant, or air fresheners, things that simply mask the smell with another scent, like spraying perfume in a room that hasn't been cleaned. The result? Loved ones feel uncomfortable, but they don't say anything. They open the windows, they keep their distance, and older adults are left feeling hurt and confused with no idea why. So to break this sad cycle, you need to understand. Where does this old age smell come from? And why does it appear even if you bathe regularly, live neatly, and are far from lazy? After age 60, the amount of sweat decreases to less than half of that. Now, you might be wondering, if I sweat less, shouldn't I smell less? I once had a patient, Mr. Donald Ray, 74 years old, who said during an appointment, "Back in the day, I'd sweat like crazy." I remember Mrs. Judith Wells, 68, once told me, "Whenever I talk, I see my grandkids take a little step back." And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss out on simple tips that can make a big difference in your life as you age. Now, my grandkids love to sit in my lap again, just like when they were little. It's like magic, doctor. And you can experience that too. I asked her if she felt like her room was well ventilated. Many people believe that the so-called old person smell comes simply from not showering enough, or that it's just a natural part of aging. And once you understand what causes them, you can take real steps to improve the situation. Let's start with sweat. It may sound strange, but when you were younger, you actually sweated more, on average, nearly a liter per day. Actually, sweat is one of the ways your body flushes out toxins. It carries bacteria, excess oil, and waste to the surface of your skin. It was annoying, but now I don't sweat at all, and that's when problems started. I explained to him because his body wasn't sweating as much anymore. The odor stuck around longer. It even clung to his clothes, bed sheets, and pillows. The second issue is something called sebum. It's the natural oil your skin produces. When you're younger, it has a different chemical makeup. But starting around age 50, sebum begins to contain a compound called 2-nonylphenol, an oxidized fatty acid. This compound is one of the main culprits behind the smell people associate with aging. It's not because you're dirty. It's because your skin is quietly changing with time. And lastly, the mouth is another source of odor that often goes unnoticed. After 60, your body produces over 50% less saliva. Saliva doesn't just keep your mouth moist, it also helps wash away bacteria. When your mouth is dry, bacteria thrive. That's when bad breath becomes a real issue. Now I understand. It's because my mouth was dry, and I had no idea it was causing a smell. And if you keep it up for a month, your family will be the first to notice and say something. Just one glass can significantly reduce odor caused by internal buildup. And once a week, treat yourself to a 20-minute soak in a warm bath. This opens up your pores and clears out deep-seated grime. But there's still one big secret left, and I'm going to reveal it next. A lot of older folks tell me, "But doctor, I shower every day." It doesn't exist in younger people, but after age 60, levels of 2-nonylphenol start rising, and they peak around age 70. So even if you shower daily, wear perfume, and use mouthwash, the smell can still linger. That's because the root of the problem comes down to 3 major changes: decreased sweating, shifting sebum composition, and dry mouth due to reduced saliva. And I'll explain all of that in the next part of this video. If you're still watching and you found this information helpful, drop a 1 in the comments to let me know you're with me on this journey. Let's continue. If you stop watching here, chances are you'll keep trying things that don't work, wasting money, time, and still not solving the problem. But what I'm about to share next is a method that's been proven through over 50 years of professional experience. It's simple, easy to follow, and if you take it seriously, you'll start noticing a difference in just 1 week. Many patients ask me, Dr. Matthew, can the smell of aging really be eliminated? The answer is yes, but only if you do it the right way, not with those flashy products you see in ads. I remember Mr. Raymond Parker, 75 years old, came into my clinic looking defeated. He said, "I love my grandkids so much, but they won't come into my room. The windows are always wide open. I don't know what I did wrong." 6 months later, he came back, face glowing. Here are 3 basic, simple, but powerful principles that 97% of my patients have used successfully. First principle: drink enough warm water, just water. Set a goal of 6 glasses of water a day. If you have trouble remembering, here's what I recommend. 1 glass when you wake up, 1 before lunch, 1 after eating, 1 around 3:00 p.m., 1 before dinner, and 1 before bed. Hot water strips your skin's natural protective oils, which can actually make body odor worse. Stick to water around 98 to 104 degree FO. For men with chest or stomach hair, it's important to scrub those areas with soap and dry them completely after bathing. You don't need special products or expensive pills. You just need to start today, right at home. People often ask me, yes, water is the body's most powerful natural cleanser. It helps flush out toxins through your urine, especially warm water in the morning. Mrs. Gloria Adams, 72, once told me, at first drinking warm water in the morning felt weird, but after a month I got used to it. Now if I skip it, I miss it. My skin feels smoother, and my grandchild even said, "Grandma, you smell like toast." And remember, tea and coffee don't count because they actually dehydrate you. If you drink coffee, add an extra glass of water to balance it out. Second principle: take light walks in the sunlight. I know many of you will say, "I'm too old. I can't move much." I understand, and I'm not asking you to do heavy exercise. Just 20 minutes of slow walking in gentle sunlight each day can make a huge difference. Morning or late afternoon sun helps kill bacteria on the skin and encourages just enough sweat to help release waste. Mr. Leonard Fisher, 78, once complained of aching legs and said he couldn't walk. I told him to start with 10 minutes around the yard each morning. In the winter, many older folks skip showers because it's cold, but this is incredibly important. Many patients tell me that after their first soak, their skin feels softer and their body odor noticeably lighter. He said, "I thought showering daily was enough, but my grandkids still stayed away. It wasn't until you pointed out the spots I missed that I realized what was happening." Alternate your shoes to give each pair time to breathe. Next, try eating more water-rich fruits and vegetables like watermelon, pears, cucumbers, and tomatoes. These help rinse your body from the inside by flushing toxins out through your urine. 3 weeks later, he came back proudly saying, "The smell on my skin is almost gone, and I sleep better too." Third principle: bathe regularly with warm water. Bathing helps remove bacteria and buildup from the skin, especially in spots we often overlook. One small but important tip: don't use water that's too hot. These 3 habits may seem small, but if you do them consistently, the smell of aging will gradually fade, almost like it was never there. Why do I still have a smell? And every time I ask just one question: when you shower, which areas do you actually scrub thoroughly? After thousands of conversations, I've discovered something unfortunate. Most people don't really clean the areas that matter. They just shower to feel fresh, not to truly remove odor at its source. I once met a man named Lawrence Dean, 70 years old. That's why I want you to remember this. 90% of the smell associated with aging comes from just 3 key areas of the body, and if you miss them, it won't matter how often you shower. The odor will linger. The first area is skin folds. Places like the neck, armpits, under the breasts, around the belly button, groin, behind the knees, and inside the elbows. All these spots have something in common. They trap sweat, oil, and dead skin, creating the perfect breeding ground for bacteria. When you clean these areas, use a soft washcloth or a gentle bath sponge. Scrub gently. There's no need to scrub hard because aging skin is delicate and prone to damage. Many people shampoo their hair but don't really massage the scalp. I once advised Mrs. Rita Wallace, 65, to slow down when washing her hair and massage her scalp for at least 2 full minutes each time. Sweat on your back can soak into your clothes and create stubborn odors. When you clean these 3 areas, always remember to use warm water, not hot. If you think that showering alone is enough to keep body odor away, I'm sorry to say you're missing a big piece of the solution. Does that mean garlic is what's making me smell, doctor? What's more, older adults often skip these areas, especially the back of the neck and behind the ears, 2 spots that easily develop odor, but rarely get attention. The second area is anywhere with hair. That means your scalp, underarms, and chest. These areas trap the most sweat and sebum. The scalp, in particular, often gets washed too quickly. 2 weeks later, she came back and said, "Doctor, the smell is gone." Even my grandson said, "Grandma, you smell like a bakery." The third area is wherever you sweat the most. That includes your feet, hands, and especially between your toes. You might be surprised to learn that unpleasant body odor doesn't always come from the armpits. It can come from your feet, trapped in socks and shoes all day. After bathing, make sure to scrub between your toes and dry them thoroughly before putting on socks. Use cotton socks and change them daily if possible. For your back, which is hard to reach, use a long-handled brush or wrap a towel around your hand to scrub thoroughly. Hot water strips away the natural oils that protect your skin and can make odors worse by drying it out. Use a gentle, unscented soap. I remember Mrs. Elaine Matthews, 71, once said, "I didn't believe scrubbing those spots would make any difference, but I gave it a try, and wow, I noticed a change." The odor went down, and my grandchild hugged me tight without making a face. If you start today, in just 1 week, you'll notice the difference. Not just in your skin or how your body smells, but in people's eyes, their expressions, and the closeness between you and those you love. In fact, foods like garlic, onions, and strong spices can cause a temporary odor right after eating, but over time, they actually help cleanse the body thanks to their rich antioxidant content. So, to eliminate odor at its root, start by eating more antioxidant-rich foods. Brushing your teeth 3 times a day is a good start, but it's not enough. The real source of bad breath is often your tongue. The tongue harbors millions of odor-causing bacteria, and a toothbrush alone won't remove them. You need a tongue scraper. Cheap, easy to find at any pharmacy. After your shower, apply a light moisturizer, especially during winter when skin tends to dry out and flake. Next, let's dive into another equally important part of the puzzle, your diet and daily habits. I once received an email from Mr. Wendell Craig, 69 years old, living in Northern California. He wrote, "Doctor, I've been eating garlic regularly since I was young. Here's the key thing to remember. As we age, our bodies go through a process called oxidation, and that's one of the main causes behind the distinct smell often associated with getting older. Now, I know antioxidants might sound complicated, but they're found in everyday foods you already know: tomatoes, apples, strawberries, brown rice, buckwheat. In general, foods that are red or purple in color tend to be high in antioxidants. These help slow the aging process and gradually reduce body odor over time. I once encouraged Mrs. Janice Morgan, 74, to simply eat 1 apple and a few slices of tomato every day. 2 months later, she came back with a big smile and said, "My grandchild hugged me longer without pulling away." He even said, "Grandma, you smell like a fruit garden." It's easy to digest and can noticeably reduce odor in just a few weeks. Aside from food, oral hygiene is just as important. Use it daily, and your breath will become noticeably fresher. Mrs. Catherine Lee, 70, once told me, "At first it felt a little weird, but after a few days, I noticed my mouth felt cleaner, and I stopped avoiding conversations with my grandkids." If you drink alcohol, try cutting back or switching to mild teas like barley tea instead. Finally, don't underestimate the power of fiber. Many older adults struggle with constipation. Just 2 months after switching to brown rice in the morning, she was no longer constipated. Her skin looked brighter, and she said her body even smelled better. Just pick 1 or 2 small habits to start with, and if you stick with them for 30 days, you'll notice a real difference, not just in how your body smells, but in how people treat you, how close they want to be, and how confident you feel. That's a very common question, and the answer is, in the short term, yes, but in the long term, absolutely not. If you struggle to eat a lot of raw fruits and vegetables, try making a smoothie each morning. And after meals, chewing sugar-free gum, especially those with xylitol, can help stimulate saliva production, which significantly reduces dry mouth odor in older adults. Another factor people often overlook is coffee, tea, and alcohol. These drinks are dehydrating, which can cause your body to retain odor. Alcohol also produces a chemical called acetaldehyde. That's what gives your sweat a distinctive smell. If you enjoy coffee, try to keep it to 1 or 2 cups a day, and make sure to drink extra water to stay hydrated. When waste builds up in the intestines, toxins can seep back into the bloodstream and exit through the skin, leading to persistent body odor. Try adding more brown rice, oats, leafy greens, and root vegetables to your diet. Start your day with a bowl of porridge or a light vegetable soup. Mrs. Donna Ray, 75, had struggled with constipation for 30 years. But those very items, after being worn a few times, had absorbed sweat and natural oils from her skin, creating an odor she couldn't detect herself. If you want to make a change, start by changing your underwear daily, even if you're just staying at home. Cotton is the best material because it breathes and absorbs moisture. Avoid synthetic fabrics, as they trap sweat and smell faster. Clothes worn throughout the day should be washed after each use, especially during the warmer months. Next, think about your bedding, your sheets, pillows, and blankets. You sleep an average of 7 to 8 hours a night, and during that time, your body still sweats and sheds dead skin. Sunlight is a natural disinfectant. Pillowcases should be changed twice a week because your hair and scalp release oils constantly. And if your pillows or blankets are over 2 years old, consider replacing them. Let me remind you, you don't have to do everything all at once. Finally, we need to talk about something many people overlook. Clothing, personal items, and your living environment also play a big role in creating what we call the smell of aging. You can shower thoroughly every day, but if you keep wearing clothes that have already absorbed odor or sleep on sheets soaked in a week's worth of sweat, all your efforts could go to waste. I remember visiting a woman named Evelyn Moore, 76, in Oregon. She was tidy, careful with her diet, but still noticed her family keeping their distance. As it turned out, she had a habit of wearing her sweaters and pajamas for 2 or 3 days to avoid doing laundry too often. If your sheets and pillowcases aren't washed at least once a week, they become breeding grounds for odor-causing bacteria. If possible, let them dry in the sun. Don't hesitate. Your health and confidence are worth it. Shoes and socks also need extra attention. Your feet have thousands of sweat glands. If you wear the same pair of shoes all week, the odor will soak into the insoles and release as soon as you walk into a room. Rotate between 2 or 3 pairs of shoes and sprinkle some baking soda inside them at night to absorb moisture. Wear cotton socks. Change them daily and never wear damp socks. Lastly, Don't forget the air in your home. A closed-up room traps all sorts of smells, from your body, furniture, and even the food you cook. Open your windows for at least 10 minutes in the morning and again in the evening, no matter the weather. Fresh air doesn't just refresh your space. It lifts your spirits too. If your bathroom or kitchen has poor ventilation, place a small bowl of vinegar or a box of baking soda nearby to naturally absorb odors. To sum it up, the smell of aging doesn't come from your body alone. It's a combination of sweat buildup, unwashed clothes, old bedding, dirty shoes and socks, and stale air. But the good news is you can absolutely change that, and you don't need expensive products to do it. Drink enough water, take light walks in the sun. Wash the 3 key odor-prone areas. Eat antioxidant-rich foods. Maintain good oral hygiene. Change clothes regularly. Clean your bedding weekly. And let fresh air circulate through your home every day. That's the simple formula to help you break free from the smell of aging. And it's not just about feeling more comfortable. It's about helping your loved ones feel closer to you. It's about hugging your grandchildren without them pulling away. It's about stepping outside with confidence, smiling when someone walks up to you. If what I shared today has been helpful, please hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who might need it too. I'm Dr. Matthew. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Now, tell me, what's the first step you will take today? Leave a comment below. I'll see you in the next video.